8:05 p.m. We'll take up other matters. Before we get started on our agenda items, I think we're all representing, I think we all want to congratulate our hometown team, New England Patriots, on their Super Bowl win, their come-from-behind victory last night. I think everybody was up late, so we're glad we have a short agenda tonight. And stay tuned till the end of our meeting because we are going to show our wonderful FHS students from elementary school through high school doing their video under our Other Matters section, so for your viewing pleasure. So congratulations, Patriots. Yes. All right, 7 p.m. visitors. Do we have any visitors that wish to be heard this evening? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to approval of minutes. We have the January 23rd, 2017 meeting minutes in front of us. I had given Janet a couple typos that I had asked to have corrected that you have in front of you. Does anyone have any changes or additions to the minutes, comments?
Motion to approve.
Thank you,
I'll
Bruce.
second.
Thank you, Bevy. All in favor of approving the minutes? 500. Thank you. All right. Colin, are you ready? Oh, no, the DECA kids are next. Sorry. I think I stayed up way too late last night, so my apologies. Mr. McCabe and friends.
So while they're getting themselves set, to give people context, we've had our DECA students here last year as well in their first year. And I think this is really timely because the DECA Club does require a lot of support. They have certainly been burning up the joint and following the tradition of the Patriots, creating some own records of their own. So, welcome tonight. I'll turn it over to Mr. McCabe to explain where you are. And I'm happy to see so many of you back and a couple of new faces, so that's great.
Well, I plan on letting them do most of the talking, but I'll be here to answer any questions. And I actually just wanted to show, I'll pull it up while they're talking, but just wanted to show one of the, or a few of the actual evaluation forms that get filled out based on their performances. So
Yeah.
just kind of show you the level of rigor and how it's pretty competitive and all the different things they're judged on. So I will turn it over to Courtney, I guess, first.
Yeah.
Then
All right, so we went to our district competition on January 12th, which was a huge success. We actually made a lot of progress between last year and this year. Last year we had not too many groups qualifying, as you remember, but this year we have about 20 people going to states. So to recognize those people, we have Allie Curran, Andre Jaberry, Paul Darcy, Zara Bootwalla, Caitlin Brightman, and Bailey Sullivan, Emily Sullivan, Olivia Johnine. Brandon Wasserman and I will be on the Quiz Bowl team with Mandy Ryan and Shannon Smalley. We have Carly Stern, Caitlin Carroll, Heather Rubensick, Rich Davis, Aiden Davin, Tom McNeil, Sean McNamara, and I think I already said that.
Don't leave anyone out one. I'm impressed that you remembered all those names right off the top of your head.
I think that's it. Yeah, because I don't know if I counted myself, but yeah. So we have a great group going this year. Really exciting. We had a couple first place, and all the way through sixth place. So really exciting. We had a lot of different groups too, and a great competition. There were so many people at districts, and we had a huge chapter growth this year as well. So we had a lot of participation at districts, and everyone seemed to have a really good time. So we're really excited for states, which will be March 9th to the 11th overnight at the Marriott Copley in Boston.
Well,
Good luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
We had it was really successful, as you just said, but we also had some more we also had some more participation in like the written event category, which is a category in which you like write a paper and make a PowerPoint presentation, which Bailey and I participated in. And we also had 2 other groups also do those, and they both did really well. Anyone else want to say anything?
Being a part of DECA just helps you introduce you to the idea of being a professional later in life. So being in high school and taking part in this club, just I think it kids interested in going to business, it's a great introductory, like into college and the real world. I've had a great time being in it. I was in it I joined it last year, so these 2 years have been a lot of fun and a good learning experience.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's been a good learning experience in the sense that I know when we go, we have to dress in formal business attire, and it's just like you communicate with adults, and it's something that we don't get to experience a lot. And I think it's been a good experience for everyone.
And also, depending on how well we do at the district competition, which hopefully we do well, at the state competition, we could end up being able to go to ICDC, which is the international competition, which will be in Anaheim, California this year. And also Massachusetts was selected to be staying at the Disneyland Resort. So a little step up from the Hotel Preston last year, even though Tennessee was amazing.
We had last draw last year. We
Yeah.
got first draw this
We're
year.
actually Massachusetts was the bottom of the barrel, and this year we are #1 spot for the hotels. So pretty exciting stuff.
There's
It's
a little
awesome.
motivation.
It's exciting.
Yeah, and we should have, based on our chapter campaigns that we've been doing, we should be able to have 3 automatic spots. So we should be able to have 3 students traveling to Anaheim this year to either do the leadership conference or even compete if they qualify.
That's very exciting.
How exciting.
Though there's the form. Right.
So this is just one of the competitive events, and this just shows you what they're actually judged on, essentially. But you see there are the performance indicators, and there's also a link to 21st century skills. There's additional things as well on other ones, which gives you an idea of sort of what they're judged on, and then the judges will even sometimes write comments about, how they did overall and what they should work on, and eye contact and things like that. So I just wanted to kind of give people an idea of what they're like. These are the more the role play ones. There's also one at the very end here, which is a written project, which is slightly different. So it might be hard to read some of these things, but just the fact that they're basically judged twice. They're judged on the written project, and then they have to present the project. So they're kind of 2 rounds of judging essentially on that one.
Plus the test, we're all required to take a test before competition, so we get judged on the test plus our performance with the judge itself.
What is the test directly related to your project?
Not necessarily your project, but it is related to the topic you're doing. So Brandon and I were marketing management team decision making this year, and our test was on marketing concepts. Some of them are on finance,
Like
accounting, hospitality and tourism. Those are the different kind of tests that you could be asked to take tests on. And
So do you get materials in advance of the competition that
yeah,
you
we can
go
study
through
from
and
the
study
books
out?
that are in the
So you're-
classroom,
yeah.
PowerPoints. Quizlet is really helpful.
And there's some practice tests available that they can look at to see what
Yeah.
previous tests look like, but there
Yeah.
might be different concentration area that year.
And each competition we go to, we have to take another test, and which gets a little bit harder, but it's basically the same concepts, just a little bit tougher. So obviously weed out the weaker links.
That's
You
a
had
lot.
mentioned earlier. You had mentioned earlier when you sat down, Courtney, that being the second year, you felt you were ready, a little bit more ready, or some things about what was it exactly? I mean, when you went to the first time, you have no idea what to
Exactly.
expect. But what exactly did you find you felt more confident in going to the second time?
I definitely felt more confident in just getting a case study and presenting it, because we're going the first time we went in, we had no idea what to expect. We're walking in what are we even about to do when we walk into this room right now? And now I knew what was coming. We had prepared for it. We knew all these different strategies for how to present to the judge, and how to meet them with great eye contact and a nice firm handshake, and everything that we had. It was just, there was a lot more confidence. And also we met a lot of people too. I have a few friends. One of them is a state officer who helps me out whenever I have any questions. So it's really nice to be able to make those connections. So you learn a lot as you're going along.
What year is each of you? in
I'm a
school?
senior.
I'm a junior.
I'm a senior.
Now, do you have any freshmen or sophomores who've
Oh,
joined
yeah.
the club since?
We've gotten a
since
lot
you
of
started?
people to
Yeah,
join
we
this
had a lot
year.
of new people. So we had last year we had 25 go to districts, and this year we had 44.
Wow.
Wow.
So,
That's
yeah, it's just-
amazing growth.
So year 1
That's
was
fantastic.
25, year 2 is 44.
Yep. And then we had last year we had I think we took 11 to states, and this year we're taking 20.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Wow.
So.
What
Pretty
kind of
exciting.
time commitment do you guys think is involved in?
It honestly depends on how much you
Preparation.
put into it.
Well,
Each
how much do
person's
you all put
different.
into it?
Like Brandon and I would, we would get together a few days to prepare for our test, and then before districts to
Yeah.
prepare for our competition. So do some practice role plays, things like that.
Mhm.
But I mean, some people are just have a natural knack for it.
Mhm.
Don't really feel the need to prepare. Some people put a lot of time into it. It really just depends
Depends
on
on the
the
individual.
category too.
Mhm.
Some of the categories are harder. So
What
Yeah,
about you,
definitely
Kate?
with like some of the written projects and stuff, it takes like a lot of like you have to write a paper, so that takes like a lot of work to put into and
Mhm.
a poster and stuff.
Like I know
Writtens.
our paper, our rough draft was due in the beginning of December, I believe, so we had to write an 11-page paper, and then from December to districts, we were working on our poster board and a presentation, like a slideshow.
yeah, the writtens are a lot more strenuous and a lot more work, I'd say.
Now,
Preparation.
Mr. McCabe, can you give them feedback on their paper? If they do their draft, can they give it to you for feedback and editing?
Yeah,
comment,
so I
that
usually
kind
try
of
to get
thing?
them to turn in rough drafts along the way as best we can.
That's the best way to do it.
Try to have some deadlines and keep them on, because otherwise you wind up with they wait till the last minute, and then it's like some people just don't get it done at all. So I try to have earlier deadlines just so they're seeing their progress along the way. But yeah, certainly, give them any feedback they need to move in the right direction. And the other thing with the writtens is that ahead of time, what your case is essentially. So although it's more work up front, you get the advantage of not having to walk in that day and not know what you're going to have.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a balance, I guess.
I just want to mention, I was part of this
Yeah.
year, which I was thrilled to be asked. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it. And they were up against students that, I don't know that I'm going to say who it was, which school it was, but you could tell the difference. These kids have it as a class. It's not extracurricular like Mr. McCabe is doing. And the fact that they came this far in 2 years is unbelievable due to him, his mentorship. And it's only an extracurricular. These kids are trained in a classroom every day to compete. And these kids are like unremarkable. And I give it to you, Mr. McCabe.
Well, they do a lot on
I
their
know,
own too.
I
We're
know.
still working on trying to organize some, practice things. Some schools will bring in like people beforehand and do like a practice run of judging and things like that. So we're trying to get to that point eventually, but right now they're doing the bulk of the work preparing. So
It's unbelievable how it's grown in a
Yeah.
year.
Really exciting. We have also really, really great examples in our district. Like, we also are in contact with Miss Sylvia's sister, who is at Wareham, who runs their DECA program. They're very successful. And King Philip, they're huge. They're really successful as well.
I knew that's what I was
really
talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
It went without saying, right?
But yeah, we have like a lot of really good examples, and a lot of people, like no one really is cutthroat, which is really nice. All the people I've met have been always really nice. No one's ever been, you could tell they're not trying to like cut your throat or anything for the competition. They're really great people, and they're really helpful along the way.
That's great. Now that you're seasoned veterans, what knowledge are you going to pass on to the freshmen and sophomores coming up?
Definitely, you should prepare. That's definitely something you don't want to walk in blind.
It's good advice
And
to everybody.
definitely have confidence. Even if you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, make it look like you do.
That's all
Make
good
it till you
advice
make
for
it.
everybody.
Exactly.
Also, I never did a written event, but now that I've gone through 2 years of it, I would definitely recommend a written event because you know what you're doing going into it. There's actually less people go into those because they don't want to do the work and they want to just go do the role play then, so you actually have more of a chance of moving forward. So I personally would recommend doing a written event.
That's what
rather
I
than-
was
That's a good
judging, the
advice.
written one. I never got to see your end of it.
Yeah, and definitely like this year, I know more than last year. We looked at like the rubrics were all online before, so those were really like key to look through those rubrics and figure out what they're judging you on. Because I don't know if you saw when you pulled them up, but basically they're judging you like how someone would interview you for a job. So like they're looking for all those same things that an employer would look for in you. So that was like helpful to know up front.
And have you found that the lessons you've learned in DECA have translated to job interviews and other
Definitely,
sorts
yeah.
of things? Yeah, and you're,
Yeah, it's all the same like kind of knowledge.
that's
You
great.
can tell that people, they're looking for quality people who know what they're doing. You can tell like some of the professionals who are judges, like they really value and appreciate like the hard work that all the students in DECA put into it. And one more thing too, we have other campaigns that are through the state that hopefully some students may be selected for.
Cool.
For ICDC, you can try to like design a T-shirt. You can try to design the state T-shirt. You can just design the state pin because we have a pin trading kind of thing in nationals. You get like 5 of the state pins and you can trade them with other states. It's really cool. Some of them are really intricate and cute, but so we have some students who have been entering in the T-shirt design and the pin design, and also the Celtics promotion plan is another one you can do to try to plan out like a Celtics night theme type of thing. And if they choose your night that they want to use it or they think it's the best one, you could also get a spot to international. So fingers
That's
crossed
exciting.
that we get picked for those.
That's great.
I just wanted to add one more thing. They don't even know about this yet, but I just wanted to, we're trying to raise funds for states, and I just wanted to give a thank you to the Rotary Club.
Oh, that's
They are donating $1,000. And also the Foxborough Knights of Columbus donated $200. So a little bit of money towards there.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, so we still have a ways to go, but we're a little bit by a little bit.
Yeah,
So
we've
I
all
wanted
been trying to fundraise a little bit. We can do individual fundraising, or we're going to be planning some kind of like dinner nights. You know, like if you go to Jake and Joe's, like 20% goes back to us. So we're going to try to find a date for one of those. And we also have a Mandarin Chef fundraiser coming up. It's next Thursday, the 16th, and it's from 3:30 to 9:30 for takeout only. And the profits will be going to the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
Great.
So this
Thank
would be
you.
a good time to
The
give them a
Mandarin Chef
boost and
downtown?
say,
Yeah.
Yes.
if there's anyone watching at home or that sees this later who has an interest in promoting students' interests in business and the development of their business skills and business acumen, sometimes this is an area that you might not be interested in supporting, school kids in other areas, but this might really hit something that you're passionate about. And so business owners, people are interested in developing this kind of student, that you may certainly get in touch with my office or to call the high school. And they're going to need some significant support to get to states, and I know they're going to. So, anyway, we might as well start now, right? And drum up some support, because it's
Think so.
definitely an exciting new club for us in its second year, and I can't imagine that they could be doing better in their second year, because
No,
they've
it's phenomenal.
certainly been hitting it out of the park, so
Absolutely.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
With this being the
and
second
keep
year,
going.
we're really hoping it just keeps going like a snowball effect. Hope people see more how much fun it is, and definitely want to join in.
And what's
That's-
really interesting, when I was doing the business, the written part, and I would try to stump them by asking them questions on it to see if they were just doing rote memorization. Because a lot of them, they were really cool, they were playing off each other, and that the King Philip. And I didn't do any Foxborough students, thank God. Actually, I did 2 groups, I think. But the way they were playing off each other, it was almost like rote memorization, but then I would ask them a question, and they were able to answer it spot on, so you really know your information at a time, which is great. You guys do a lot of work.
Yeah.
Well, thank you
Thank you.
all for coming. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Thoughts?
Lots of well
This
wishes.
is great. Yeah,
Thank
keep
you.
us
Thank
posted
you.
on how
Thank
how we
you.
do in the next round.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I can't imagine an extracurricular activity that's more
Oh yeah,
meaningful to their
I
futures.
sent it to Matt.
Really is a great one.
I'll send it to you.
Awesome
I'll,
job.
I'll send
Thank
it
you
to
so
Mandy.
much.
Or your mother.
Good luck. All right.
Terrific.
All right, so our next agenda item is the proposal for senior privileges with Ms. Myers-Pacla and Colin Spinney. While they're getting set up, Bill, what's going on with the signal? I mean, are we being broadcast? Okay, I just thought I was a little distracted by the changing of the station up there, and now it's a black screen, so, but everyone's watching at home. Wonderful. Wouldn't want them to have missed our kids from DECA.
So, as several years ago, we were here at this table with a request for senior privileges, and we find ourselves back here now. So, Diana will get Shannon Wazalewski, who's one of the advisors.
Sorry, Shannon, I should have
And,
introduced you as well. My apologies.
Colin Spinney.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, and Colin Spinney is here to represent the senior privilege proposal. I've had the privilege of hearing it already, so here we go. Turn it over to you.
All right, so our club, run by that's not a club, it's our huddle, which is our huddle leader is Miss Waz. And so our club really tries to focus on improvements of the school. That's what we spend our club time on. And like, so our decision was, let's find something that we can do to improve the culture of the school. So we came up with the senior privileges proposal, which allows kids to come in late for first block or leave early if you have a study last block. So it only involves the study. So it's either first block study or last block study. They'll give you about an hour. And so kids that have, like, the eligibility for the senior privileges is the same as the sports senior privilege, the sports eligibility, which is, I think it runs as 2 Fs, and then you're cut off. And so there's a couple of guidelines to that. You have to park in a designated spot, not like they're numbered or anything. Just don't throw your car in the grass because you're late. Make sure you park it in a spot. Then, like, a failure to not abide by the rules normally results in a 1 or 2 cycle cutoff. So a cycle is 7 days. So that means that you miss at least 1, possibly 2 or more. And if it's more egregious, you can possibly lose the whole thing altogether. So,
I think we would say.
I think we pretty much covered all of it.
Yep.
Okay. And also for the to be allowed to leave school, there's gonna be like a parent permission slip that it goes home with every student, and it's like the waiver that you can go and leave.
Okay,
So far, so
Some of the
good.
rationale.
doing great.
So why should we all be interested in supporting this?
All right, so we think that independence is a big thing for kids in school, because a lot of them are, almost everybody in the school is going off to do something with their life after they graduate high school. They're either going to join the military, go to college, or join the workforce. In all 3 of those, you have to be a very independent person, be able to work on your own. And in the real life, you're allowed to go and leave from your job. So we feel like that should really help the kids. We also think it would help the flexibility of student schedules. So as if, like, you have more homework one night, you're up late, that way you're not coming to school, you're not a mess in the morning. Or if you have a lot of homework, you can go home, you can do it like right after school. Then you'll have time to eat, come back, catch your sports practice, because most sports practice starts like 2:45 after school. It also allows for kids to get more sleep, as I was saying with the homework. And it also allows for more flexibility with students' doctor's appointments and like interruptions during class. So if you have to come for a doctor's appointment, you're not missing class time, or not class. Like you can have more flexibility. So that the appointment at 2 o'clock, you can have that 2 o'clock appointment versus having to go at 10, skip an actual period of school, and then you're really missing all the information. You have to come back the next day. You're behind. You're trying to catch up. It also allows for kids to engage in more rigorous school activities or school classes. So that would help kids to, like, it would give them more time to work around their schedule and take those higher AP level classes. And it helps to lessen after school congestion and possibly before school congestion as well.
Traffic congestion.
Yeah, because there's only one exit and one entrance.
That seems very well thought out to me. As I was telling Colin before the meeting started, I actually did this my senior year. I worked in a law office every day, and I got dismissed at 1 o'clock we had, I think they called it work release, which sounds a little prison-like, but it was the same idea.
Ours was open campus. Ours was called open campus.
That's really funny.
But I mean,
I don't think we're going to call it that, but that's a good one.
I would suggest that we didn't, because it sounded weird when I said it. But it was a great opportunity for me to earn a little more money for college, and that's what I did. So this doesn't seem that unreasonable to me, and seems pretty well thought out. I would like to hear what Ms. Myers-Pakla has to say, though, as the principal of the school. What are your thoughts?
Well, I have to say, just in general, we were very excited about
Yeah.
this with Ms. Wazalewski's class, because the students came up with several different proposals, and actually Mrs. Spinelli was in, and Dr. Berdos as well, and we were able to listen to several of those, and this one was one that we really felt that we could really wrap our own minds around and be able to move it a little bit quicker. And I have to say Colin was very persistent with it, and we've met a couple of different times to ask, and when I say we, I mean both Ms. Sylvia as well as Mr. Pierce, to ask those questions of, well, what are you thinking about with this? What are you thinking about with that? Who's going to be the keeper of it? How do you think the book's going to work in the main office? And all of those. So we've been working very much on the logistical pieces of it. And we would like to. We'd like to be able to pilot it. We think it's a really nice time to be able to do that. And especially with Colin being the lead on all of this for this proposal, so that he's able to participate in this as well.
So when you say pilot, if we approve it, is it just gonna be for this year, or would it be a change?
Our plan would be
okay.
that it would continue, but
Uh,
at least this way we could tweak it, we could see how it's working. He'd mentioned a couple of cycles if there was some kind of a violation. Maybe that doesn't make sense, maybe that 15 days, almost of 3 weeks of class time, or excuse me, of school time and the days of the week might seem longer than what it should be. Or, you know, what are things that we hadn't thought about that might come up? We always try to do those what ifs,
Yeah.
but sometimes something occurs. Like, I kept going, a designated parking spot. Now, what is that? What do you mean? Like, any student who's gonna have this is gonna have, you know, parking slot number 1? It's like, no, they just can't park, like in the mud or, you know, on the side of the, and we hadn't even thought, but it makes perfect sense. You know, you gotta go, and you might wind up with that parking spot that's a little bit further away than if you came in the morning because you're coming in later. So most of the students, although they are not official parking spots, just about everybody kind of has their own parking spot. So you might wind up losing it because of that on a given day. And for the students too, it's not an everyday, because if a student has a study first period, of course, that's our constant and that doesn't rotate. However, all the other periods rotate. So really, a student's only 1 in 7 days for the end of the day that they might actually have that study come to be. So we talked about that
It
too.
would only hit about once a cycle. Me, myself, I don't have any of them, so it really doesn't benefit me.
We were
Right,
hoping.
currently. So,
Well, then this is very generous of you to be here, spending your time for this proposal. It's, I think it's a great
He has
idea.
worked tirelessly
He has.
since last year. We started this process last year. I think last November is when we started this process of putting this
A year ago?
idea
yeah,
together.
this is over. Yeah.
They've worked long and hard because their presentations were this spring.
Marilyn, do you have?
With the signing in and out, for emergency purposes, would that cover knowing where students are at all times? Like, especially at the end of the day?
Yes, because they'd have to come down through the main office
So
to
we save
do a
as
sign out.
attendance.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
just wanna make sure it was covered.
Everybody would sign in and out at the main office. There'd be
Right.
like a book just for this.
Just for
Just
this.
for the specific.
Just for this specific.
So if there's an
Okay.
emergency, we grab that sign out book, which will be different
That's what I'm
from
saying.
parents coming in to dismiss. We wanted to
Correct.
keep it as a separate item.
Perfect.
So you'd
Thank
have
you.
the written release
Permission.
from the parent, a liability waiver or whatever, and then you would keep a book daily on who's in, who's out.
Yes.
So if a student had the ability to leave but needed to meet with a guidance counselor or do some work in the computer lab, they wouldn't have to leave. They
No.
could
No,
still
they could-
stay.
absolutely,
and-
they could
yeah.
stay.
Definitely.
And that would be really our attendance, that either they're reporting into that study, signing into whatever it might
Right.
be, the media center or
And then-
guidance with it. And they're not on the sign-out log. So they would have a designated, they would still have their designated study location to go to. At the same time, the log would be there for when they would go out.
Well, what's your sense, Colin? Do you think that students would abuse this privilege or would take it seriously?
Well, I have a lot of friends that have jobs just like you were talking about, and honestly, I think they would pick up actually an extra hour of work
Yeah.
if they could that
Well,
day
that's
because
what I did.
a lot of them are going off to college and they're not really getting much financial support from home, so that extra hour of work could really help benefit them.
As opposed to an extra hour later in the day, because everybody's trying to get everything
Yeah.
done. We have very
Right.
busy kids. Our DECA kids are in the back
Yeah.
nodding their heads, too.
Yeah.
So,
And I think
Those were
that-
my questions, all related to
Yeah.
logistics.
Yeah.
And by considering this, would we be imposing more logistical difficulties on the administrators in the office? And they didn't feel that at all. It felt like it would definitely be something doable.
And again, the beauty of this, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
yeah.
the beauty of this is really that this is student-driven, you know, and so this is
Yes.
something that is, how can we make things a little bit better, or how
Yeah.
can we really bring something forward? And when I say we, it's really, I mean the students when I'm saying that we part. And as Mrs. Spinelli said the last time, just prior to my arrival was the Strive for 85. And again, that was a student-generated proposal for seniors again. And there aren't that many privileges anymore, you know, when it comes to it, just because of liability, this day and age and everything else, that I'm sure many of us around the table had a lot more privileges when we were in high school than what our students do. And this is certainly something that seems very reasonable and very doable. And again, we're expecting them to be young adults. There are consequences. We don't want to have to impose those, but like anything, you know, there's always a reaction to somebody's actions, so be it positive or negative, and so hopefully this will just be on the positive side with the students.
Amy?
My daughter graduated from high school last year, and she had this as a senior privilege in her school district, and she truly saw it as a privilege. It was a matter of, I'm not going to be late because I don't want to lose that privilege. And then I also could tell when she had it first period that because she would be up studying a little bit later than what her normal study habits would be, because it allowed her to say, I know I'm going to be able to have a little bit of time in the morning. But she truly saw it as a privilege and was not late because she did not want to lose that privilege.
One of the things I respected is, as you read it, it's right up front. You're responsible for your own actions, and if you blow it, these are the consequences. They know right before they even leave the gate.
Bruce?
Well, I think Colin, you did a nice job presenting it, thank you. And what appeals to me is the independence and encouraging independence, and also the sleep deprivation point, because I think it's something that we read a lot about and feel that, you know, right now, today, education is tough on our kids from that perspective. So, you know, I would love us to figure out other ways to help address that, but this is a start, and that's terrific, and knowing that it's something other schools have had, we're probably overdue. So the only question I had for you, Colin, is let's just say hypothetically that a kid drove a Jeep, like a big silver Jeep. Is yours silver?
No.
What color is it?
Black.
Black. Okay, let's just say hypothetically it was a big black Jeep. Would they be able to park on the grass? Hypothetically? Oh, no. All
You
right.
said it didn't affect him, remember?
Oh, I
I'm always here around 6 a.m., so I get any spot I want.
okay. I was just checking, because I think the tires on that hypothetical black Jeep could probably handle it. Oh, good job, Colin.
Chris, do you have any?
I had the senior privileges when I was in high school, and to kind of echo what Dr. Berto said, it was something I looked forward to becoming a senior, so I could have. And I think this is a good start, and hopefully we can develop it further from here. Great job presenting, and thank you for bringing this to us.
Well thought out.
Okay.
So it would be lovely if we could get school committee approval. And just to clarify Diana's earlier point, we're only calling it a pilot because we're not sure if all of these things will exist exactly as they are without trying it. So it is something that would continue. So our students here in the back are juniors. Yep. But we would like the opportunity to see how it goes from now till June, and then be able to tweak some of the rules, if you will, or the parameters around it. But I'm
So
fully behind anything that allows our kids to assume more responsibility, because they are ready for that, and why not?
Would this go into effect after February vacation?
Oh, we would start it immediately.
We'd probably, start as soon as as soon as they can get the information out.
We'd have to get the letter, our parents would have to, we don't have that letter crafted yet, but as soon as we do that, we just had report cards, so we can go off of the grades that just came out. So, if we don't need to wait until the next round, then we just assume, so it may well be after February break by the time everything comes in.
Right, crafted and collected.
Yes.
There are no other questions. I'd like to make a motion to accept the proposal for senior privileges.
I think we need to approve it, but yes. Approve the proposal?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the proposal for senior privileges? That's 5-0-0. Nice job, Colin.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Colin. I'm
Thanks,
sad
Diana.
you don't get to take advantage of it, but we'll call it the Colin Spinney plan. Absolutely. To keep you in the mix.
Your
And,
classmates
Mrs.
will be
Waz,
proud.
what happened to the group, Mrs. Waz, that was working on how to get a second exit from the high school? I was really cheering for that.
They were, we had
Keep
my,
working,
AP
keep
language class was
Yes.
working on
Ah.
it, so they all broke, when the year ended, they all went their separate ways.
Okay.
I'm sure they'd be happy to come back and talk to
I was rooting for that group because we were a little stymied about it as well.
A second exit? Well, I'll tell you in all seriousness, one thing that would help, and I suspect Mr. Yukon has heard this before, but the driveway that does connect the side parking to the main drive, if we widen that a few feet, would be very helpful. You know which part I'm talking about, Bill? Over here, the side parking, the auditorium side parking, that parking lot, the little path, the little roadway that connects that to the main driveway, when you get two cars passing opposite direction in the morning and in the afternoon, it's quite tight.
There's a culvert.
Yeah, I think there's a reason probably why they probably haven't, but it's that's.
I agree with you. It is narrow.
Yeah. Just FYI, and sometime when you're there. Oh,
In your
I
spare
know.
time.
Well, I'm not saying you have to pave it.
Well, you kind of are, but.
All right. Our next agenda item is the addition to FHS overnight travel with Ms. Myers-Packler.
So again, apologies that this was left off our initial list for the overnight travel. This is for the track team, and this is something that they have done on and off for several different years, and that is heading to New York. There are chaperones that go with the students, and it's usually 10 to 20 students who do attend. It is in May, and the dates are there for you.
I know we've approved this several times in the past. Does anyone have any questions? Would anyone
I'll
like
make
to
a motion that we add this to our travel plan for the high school.
And for tableside consistency, I will second.
Thank you. Is there any further
Tableside
discussion on
consistency.
this? All right, all those in favor of approving the additional overnight trip to White Plains, New York for the track team? That's 500.
Have to keep it clever, Marilyn.
I know, I like.
Makes it more interesting
I
for the
know.
viewers,
Thank
you
you.
know.
Diana.
Thanks, Diana.
Mary McDonald's does too.
Okay, we are moving right along.
Tableside consistency.
I like tableside consistency. All right, so our next agenda item is an update on the Borough School project. We had a meeting in Boston today at the MSBA. We'll let Mr. Yukna take it away.
Jeez, I thought you would do it.
Hey, I was just setting you up.
So, yes, the meeting basically was the first step of the process, which is to hire an owner's project manager. As you know, you authorize the school building committee to act as your representation. That committee developed a committee of 5 members, of which Ms. Bellinger, Ms. Spinelli, myself, Jack Shaler, and Bill Keegan sat on. We went through a process. We had 12 companies basically respond to our request for proposals. We narrowed that down to 5 to interview. During the interview process, we had some very good candidates, but we felt that Colliers International was our top choice, and a lot of it based on the fact that they have done a number of elementary school projects as well as other school projects with the MSBA. This is going to be critical because obviously, unlike some of our other projects like Town Hall, the MSBA is heavily involved in this, so there's a funding component to that as well as a structural component to the way the process works. So having somebody who is very good at that is important to us. Now, most of the top tier people that we were looking at all had experience, but we just, I think as a team, felt more comfortable that they would work better with our team to move this process forward. The process basically was for us to then supply that to the MSBA for their approval. And we went in along with the Collier Group, who also gave their presentation to the board. And the final step is for the board to actually authorize the town to move forward with the Collier Group. And we expect we will receive an approval letter after today's meeting within the next few days for that. And then we start a similar process to hire an architect. And again, that will take a number of months to go through as well.
And we just want to thank Town Manager Bill Keegan and Chief Roger Hatfield for going in with us today as well.
Yes.
Obviously, Mr. Keegan's key part of this process, and Chief Hatfield's our procurement officer. So that was important, to have the support there too.
Well, it's exciting we're this far.
Yeah, it is a longer process than we're accustomed to, but I think, again, we've moved it forward fairly quickly, and we're just going to have to keep pushing, I think. And we made that very clear to the Collier Group that we plan to move this process as fast as we can, so we need them to be in that same mindset. Yeah.
Why is this a longer process compared to
good question.
Town Hall? What makes it different?
What makes a difference is the three-way stool that you have here, which basically is the MSBA along with the town, and then the OPM. And the MSBA basically has a voting right on pretty much everything we will do in this process, and the MSBA only meets every other month. So, when you're in a decision-making process, we can make decisions weekly. As far as the town hall, 48-hour notice, we can have a meeting and move forward. When it comes to this process, it's very methodical, very planned, and you're trying to hit dates. So even our hiring the OPM, we either did it February 6th, or we do it April was the next chance. So if we had missed this thing, it was 2 more months.
And we were actually the only one in our group of 10 who were put through for this round that made it to today's deadline. So I think we should expect that every time there's a decision to be made that is not ours, but that it falls in MSBA purview, that we're gonna have to be patient, because we could wait close to 2 months for every piece of the step.
Painful.
It is painful. We're already paying, we haven't even gotten in it.
And
But that's consistent with our high school experience, right?
No, it's actually gotten, the process has continued to morph over the timeframe. And I think there's a much higher level of interaction with the MSBA now than there was back then. Although that was was still pretty strong, but it was not as quite as connected as it is right now.
Yeah, they even discussed some of the changes that have been made to the process today, and pointed out the difference between when we did our high school project and the process as it stands today. So. But I would like to point out that Mr. Yukna put in an awful lot of work the week before Christmas in order to hit our deadline for February 6th and getting everything done. And we're very lucky to have him at the helm of this project and the building committee here in town. So we are fortunate to be moving along as quickly as we can, and that is a snail's pace with the MSBA. So we'll do our best to hit our deadlines. But that was a great question, Chris. Does anybody else have any
And obviously,
questions
we're
on
involved with the MSBA because right now we're in line for about a 49% reimbursement rate from them. So
We like that.
yeah, so I think that's it's an
worth
important thing. Although at some point you also have to measure if there's additional cost involved with going along their process. But I think at this point we follow the process just as it's been placed, and make sure that basically we keep and preserve that availability financially for the town. So.
Thank you, Bill. Any other questions,
I
comments,
just want to thank everybody
additions?
who went today. We're going to try to keep moving.
Absolutely.
But we often get the question, when is this all going to start? So we just want to caution people that due to the very methodical nature of the process, that people should not expect that we're starting any kind of renovation. So I'm just going to informally say a year and a half.
Yeah.
So people shouldn't.
It's a long,
be
drawn-out
expecting that.
process.
It is, and we would like it to be shorter, but it is the process. So about a year and a half-ish. Don't hold us to that, but that's about what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, but the process is worth a lot of money to the town, right?
Exactly.
It is worth a
Yeah.
lot.
Lot of
And that's why
savings
we're
to the
doing it.
It's worth
taxpayer.
half the cost, just
Right.
about. So
That's
have to
right.
keep that in mind. All right. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Mrs. Spinelli. Okay, moving on to other matters. Well, we were going to start other matters with our video. Can we still do that?
Sure.
All right.
Yep.
Let Amy set
Maybe
it
we
up.
can have a little go around while Amy's bringing that
Yes,
up.
I was going to say, while Amy is setting up our video, would you like to start?
Can I go last? Because I'm blanking out right now.
Of course.
A few minutes ago, I was trying to remember if I had any senior privileges in high school, but it's been so long, I honestly can't
know
tell
what?
you.
I will
It was
start.
too long ago.
I can start for today. I have actually have a request from our community and of our school committee members. I was at Diana Myers-Packla's principal's coffee today, and Ellen Pillsbury came in and was talking about the Credit Fair for Life, which is going to be held February 28th. It's a Tuesday at Showcase Live up at Gillette. She has had a lot of her volunteers. She needs volunteers from the business community, the parent community, to help out with the booths that she does there. And she's had a lot of volunteers because of other conflicts drop out. So she is looking for some help for the. It is February 28th, Tuesday, February 28th. So she came to the parent coffee to ask if any of the people in attendance there were interested in helping out. So if anyone at the table would like to get in touch with Ellen Pillsbury.
I'm already on board. I already
Okay.
have a booth.
Or if
Thank you.
anyone else would like to, or if anybody watching at home, call the office and speak to Ellen Pillsbury, and
That's
I'm
a
sure
great
she'd be
activity,
delighted.
Jen,
Oh, it's
because
fabulous.
She's got
Went last
everything
year.
totally organized. She'll just give you your booth assignment. You just carry it through, and it's really interesting to see the kids learning about their own, establishing their own personal finance approach and methodology to managing their lives in the future. It's fascinating. So that's a great thing for people to do.
I attended last year and I was very impressed by it, and this year I'm doing the real estate booth with two
Well,
other
thank you,
ladies.
Marilyn, for
Yes.
that.
I
And
will
as
do
you're
my
looking at
best. I
As
have a
you're looking
couple of
at me to do
ideas.
it, like you know I will.
I figured you would. I need to check my calendar, but it sounds like a great
It's a really-
opportunity. And so, and I know
fun.
we have a lot of people who help out in town, so I thought I wanted to mention that for Ellen. Looks like we're all queued up, so we can put a pin in it for now.
Maybe a
You want
little,
background on
background.
our video, Mrs. Spinelli?
Well, the kids and staff were pretty excited about the upcoming Super Bowl once our team won the championship. So we decided to put in a little effort and just send a lovely little video card, if you will, from the kids in Foxborough. That's what this is.
All right.
We believe in ourselves. We believe in the Patriots. We believe in Tom Brady. We believe in Bill Belichick. Thanks for teaching us about hard work. If you work hard, we work hard. Thanks for teaching us about teamwork.
Hey guys, I'm Matt Light, and I'm here at Foxborough High School, and I got a little message, okay? For all the Patriots out there, all of our fans and everybody else, the entire Foxborough community is with you. We love you guys. We know you're going to bring home another great championship, and we have a little message from our friends right here at Foxborough High School. Take it away, Andre.
And they did.
Yeah, they did.
How can you fail? A little cute little ending.
I love
cute little
They did the
kindergartners.
football
Fabulous.
into each screen.
That was Mike Stanton's idea.
And
when
a
we
good
were
idea it
processing
was, yeah.
ideas.
So fun.
Very good. Well, thank
So-
you for thank you, Amy. Thank you for sharing the video with us, and
And
with
thanks to
anyone
Matt
at home.
Light, who, when I
Absolutely.
got in touch with him, said yes immediately. He'd love to be
Yeah.
our closer, and he's obviously so good at what he does. And thanks to Dan Ambrosio, our middle school tech integration specialist, who traveled around with me to each group and put the whole video together.
Well, it came out great, so I'm so glad we could do that. All right. So getting back to other matters, would you still like us to go last with you?
There's been so much going on. We're at the start of
There's
the
a
new
lot,
semester.
yeah.
I know Amy's going to talk about a very successful professional development day, so I'll leave that to her. Our athletic team's been doing pretty well.
Wrestling.
So it's all good.
Oh, the Scholastic Art Awards.
Oh, I was just, that was gonna,
Yes.
I was gonna do that.
And that,
24.
we're going to probably have them come
We
another
usually
time as
do.
well.
That's
But
fabulous.
24 is
24 art awards and 4 poetry.
impressive.
That's incredible.
Very.
Yeah.
Yes, that's always a very nice teaching and learning highlight when the kids come. So.
And 2 of the seniors received awards for the entire 8-piece portfolios.
Right. And I will remind the committee when we're getting closer to the art studio and gallery
In May.
exhibit up at Patriot
Yeah.
Place that's always really wonderful to take in,
Fabulous.
so I'll let you know.
Excellent.
Posted.
All right,
Other than that, things are great.
great. Debbie, did you have anything
No,
else?
that was, I wanted to make sure that was flagged.
All right. Bruce?
And
Oh,
it's
sorry, Deb.
exciting, digital images of the Gold Key awarded, winning work are currently being sent to New York City to compete on a national level.
We've had winners up there too.
Right.
Yep.
Which is, we have an art department that's rivaling the music department these days.
And I think well, I think I do want to have them here for a teaching and learning highlight because the visual arts are worthy of seeing in person, and they did a nice little presentation for us last year. And to actually see it rather than just talk about the number of awards, I think it makes really a better impact on seeing the unbelievable creativity in these kids.
Well, and several of the awards were given out to freshmen, so we have a lot of beautiful art in our future as well. So it's fantastic. I love to have the visual arts here. See that, Bruce?
I just wish everybody a good second half of the school year, and I hope it goes as smoothly for all of us as the first half.
And will we have a vacation in between now and our next meeting?
Yes, we do.
So-
Vacation starts next Friday. Well, at the end of next Friday.
17th,
So it's
Friday the 17th.
So may everybody have a restful, enjoyable vacation.
Our students are leaving on Spanish exchange on the 15th, so wish them a great trip. Excited for them. So yeah, it'll be a good vacation. Dimitri, do you have anything you want to share with us? Okay. Amy, want to talk about
Just,
professional
we really had a successful day for our professional development day. The district focused on curriculum design for half the day. At the secondary level, they focused with, from the Department of Education, with Safe Schools, meeting the needs of transgender students. Also had a number of workshops working on how to meet the needs of students with anxiety in schools and mindfulness. And we had over 60 world language educators as well. It was a two-part from our November day that was hosted in Norton because we couldn't physically fit them here with all of our music educators because we had so many of them. And it was not a professional development day for those districts, so we still had 60 world language educators that came over for that day. So it was a great day of learning, and I think that a lot was accomplished.
And that's the last PD day.
That was the
for
last
year.
PD for the year.
Chris? anything? Okay.
The
Yeah.
wrestlers also got a police escort back into
yeah,
town. They
that's
won
very
a
exciting.
championship.
State
So it's pretty-
championship.
State championship, yep.
Yeah, it's
So not only the
fabulous.
Patriots, got escorted in, our wrestlers did. Congratulations to all of you.
Wrestlers did.
Bill, anything else?
I'm good.
Janet?
All set, thank you.
Tina, just one more if
bet.
it pops into mind, but listening to Amy talk about all the music educators makes me think that we had an announcement made, at least in school, about a legend of Foxborough education. Is it okay to congratulate publicly?
Well, we have, I would imagine, but we have a couple of retirees. We don't usually float their name, but I think this one has probably gotten around. But we have two others that I know of. I don't know that they would want me saying their name here, but you can go right ahead.
Well, maybe because this one's a little unique in terms of longevity and impact and everything else. I'll go out on a limb a little bit, but I know that Steve Massey, who's done such a great job for years and years, announced, at least to the students, that he is considering retiring at the end of this year. So that was news in our district. And Mrs. Spinelli's right, we'll address all the retirees consistently and appropriately, but I think Steve has had such an impact on so many and brought so much recognition to the school system that I will just say I am eager to see how that plays out, and whatever happens, wish Mr. Massey the best.
I think we all agree
Well
with
said.
that.
Well said.
Thank you, Bruce. Well, I think that's all I have. I know the sign out front has been full of all kinds of information for our people, and also I did tell Diana, I do like Sheila, her secretary, puts very nice messages out there for our kids and for our community, and
It's not a bad reminder, some of the little tidbits they put up
Some,
there. I think
she's
it's
put a lot
lovely.
of tidbits about kindness out there, and
Yes.
I have truly appreciated everything that I drive past that sign because I go up and down South Street. I don't know,
too.
about 50 times a
Me too.
day.
I don't miss
So
that.
I see that sign all the time. And I really like the things she puts out there, including this past week congratulating the AFC champs. I'm sure we have some Super Bowl congratulations out there. And before the AFC championship, she had "We Are Patriots Nation," which we are.
Yes.
And I really enjoy the sign. It not only I was skeptical about the sign when we put it in, and because it was a little flashy, you know, with the electronics. But I love the sign. I have to say that.
I appreciate you doing
I'm a
it.
convert.
Yeah.
So.
I'm glad you said that, because we only had one inquiry where it's like, why do we have these other messages? Only put up there what's absolutely necessary for kids to know or the community to know. But I think some of the other things, the softer side of the sign, I think are important. So I'm glad you said that, because I think what people see is public messaging, whether it's something discussed here at this table or whether it's something on the sign, defines us. So I don't think it's a bad thing to have hundreds of people driving by every day and say the high school is promoting kindness and kind words and understanding and respect. I can't see anything downside. Yet, is it an urgent announcement that there's a meeting at 7 o'clock tonight? No, but I think it does define who we are, and we're proud of that. So I'm glad you said that. Thank you.
And flashy's better than the other kind, because I used to be in the mud in the Ahern and on my back in the winter changing those signs with Tracy.
You just can't change them
That
very
wasn't-
often if you're
oh,
out
it
there
was
with
horrible.
the
It was horrible.
with
We
the
couldn't get
magnetic letters, as they would.
We couldn't get volunteers, I'll
Well,
tell you
I'm
that much.
definitely a convert to the sign. I also liked
I like the
she
electric.
put on there to remember to use your blinker, which is a
Right.
good
Blinker.
reminder.
Blinker.
AH.
We all
Blinker.
love that.
Use your blinker.
All right, if nobody has anything, would anyone like anything additional? Would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn the
I
meeting?
could make that a motion that we adjourn our meeting of today.
Make it consistent, Bruce.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of adjournment? 500.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Was the, statement, because I just had that same trend.